What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, man? Check it out. I'm Rob Bodie, and this is True Exposure Live on Spotlight39. I'm in the Bear Cave, aka Studio 39. You know what it is, man. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Do what you do. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it. Comment during the broadcast. I'll bring it on the screen. Answer any questions you guys might have because it's packed. We got four great coaches from four great 7-on-7 squads. A couple from this previous week in Florida, and then we got a couple of coaches that will be joining us in Texas this coming weekend. So look, again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's blow this thing up. So with that being said, let's get into the show. My man Steve, live and in color. What's going on?
Man, it's a great day to be alive, man. It's a great day to be alive. We out here, man, got the screens up trying to give people the recap on the weekend out in Haines City, Florida. You would think to yourself, wow, what is out there in Haines City? Well, it was a lot of football this weekend.
So tell me, Haines City. Haines City, where is Haines City in comparison to, say, an Orlando, a Miami, like a city that people know? Where's Haines City relevant to?
All right, if you took Orlando and Tampa like it was a sandwich.
Okay. So kind of Central Florida?
Yeah, be right there in the middle.
Good deal.
Right between Orlando and Tampa.
All right.
Yes,
so Haines City, right? So Haines City was the kickoff. Obviously, if you followed social media, you saw big things. And speaking of big things, I'm going to give a shout out to my man Josh with Big Hits Live. The content was outrageous. The connections was great. Like, this dude put out content. So if you were involved in that tournament and you don't have a video or a picture to show, man, you better tap into Big Hits Live, True Exposure on Twitter, on Instagram, all the above, because there is content. I guarantee your face is somewhere in there. We got you, good, bad, or indifferent. Whether you got mossed or whether you was doing the moss, we got you. So I just had to throw that out there, man, because my man did big things. Big things. So and that's part of the True Exposure media team, Big Hits Live.
Hey, he put a video out within 24 hours, had 1 million views. So if you out there worried about your True Exposure, and you wonder, well, man, what is this True Exposure thing about? I mean, we hear about tournaments all the time, big name tournaments here and there, but who can tell you that in 24 hours they could put a video out and an interception that you made, a defensive stop that you made went viral?
That's it.
I gotta tell you, that type of thing right there, if you a DB unexposed, you could go viral. At this tournament in Haines City, little old Haines City, there was a young man that came from basically considered a 1A class school with 12 people on their football team. 12. You know, that young man had no profile on 24/7 Sports. Guess what happened?
I think something might have changed.
He went to work. He said, I said, son, you got 12? He said, yes, sir, I got 12. I got 12 on our team. Our quarterback even play both ways. I said, wow.
Man.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. That is crazy. That is crazy. So this is what you get when you come to us. It doesn't matter where you stopped in from. Rob, you know what? Let's go ahead and get jumping on this and let's talk about this recap.
Let's do it, man.
I mean, this recap business is fire. Now, I'm going to tell y'all the champions so we can go ahead and make the things right. In our 10U division, we had Coach Franco's Beachside 7v7 black team. Beachside 7v7 black team. And Rob, don't we have Coach Franco on the show today?
I think we do. I think he's going to be our second guest, right? He's our second guest. We got Coach Visor, I believe is how we pronounce it, from 24K, right? He's going to be joining us. And then we got Coach Franco from Beachside. And then we got a couple of dudes that's coaching up some squads out there in Texas. So when we talk about what's to look forward to this weekend, we got those dudes. So
yeah, and continuing that shout out for those boys out here in Texas, I gotta let you know there was nothing but champions out here in Florida. Okay, so Beachside was from Florida. In fact, 99% of those teams were from Florida that showed up for this first one. They wanted to get that work in. Our 12U champions happened to be our natty winners. Okay, the Fighting Irish, the Tampa Bay Fighting Irish came out and represented y'all remember we had Coach Jay Mize, okay, and we had QB1 Tyler Harrison.
There he is.
Shout out because they came out and they fought against an unbelievable coaching squad with Coach Siciliano, with the Gridiron Elite. And I tell you, I call him Coach Vince. Coach Vince and his son, Coach Mike, they run a phenomenal program. And those two men, they put on a show. They had our national champions, Tampa Bay Fighting Irish, they had them to the wall. Do you know they were down?
I
First
saw.
time that I've ever seen it. They were down, and boy, did those boys have to really fight. But that shows you how great of a program that Gridiron Elite runs. And just a huge shout out to those coaches. What a class act program. Those boys came out, and Coach Mike, Coach Vince's son, they ran tempo, and boy, it gave Coach Mize something to work with on Sunday. It was a beautiful thing to see.
That's
Now,
awesome.
over in the 14U division, we had the 305 Jaguars. They not only won 14U, but they also won 18U, beating our headliners last week, 24K and Certified Dogs. They did such big things. It was unreal. Those boys are from Miami and showed out like they were on the beach.
Man. So they came up from the 305 to Little Haines City and put in that work.
They made the trip. They made
so,
the trip in a big van too. They had one of those big,
oh,
like you on a basketball team or you on a major college football team. They rolled up deep like that. I
so they
was
brought the
like,
tour
wow.
bus.
Look, they got off the tour bus. They was blinged out. Them boys came out. They had the chain. We even have Jacob Maxwell, the CEO of the company, exchanging the chain. Jacob bit his head down. They put the chain over Jacob's neck. Oh, it looked good. It looked good. Jacob looked like an OG on there. Oh, it looked good. And
Man,
then
yeah, man.
our last team, 15U won 24 K won 15U, just showing out. In fact, it was one of their DBs, one of Coach Mitchell and Coach Visor's DBs that hit that million-plus mark
That's
for going
nuts.
viral from Big Hits Live in 24 hours.
That's crazy. So predominantly 99% Florida squads, right? But we do got to give a shout out to our dudes out in Missouri, right? They made the flight. So shout them out. What's the squad?
They called themselves. I asked one of the young men, "What you call yourself?" He said, "We call ourselves Stiffer." But that means that they stretch the field academy.
Okay.
Coaches were class acts. We even saw them at dinner later that night. I got to tell you, what a wonderful group of coaches, parents, and players. Those kids had such class. I kept getting on them about who had the best barbecue, being that I'm from Texas, and they kept saying, of course, we from KC have the best barbecue. But I think that we're gonna have to put it to the test. So when I come to KC, y'all get a plate for me. When y'all come to Texas, I'll have a plate for the whole team.
Oh,
Y'all
that's
put me to
it.
that. The whole team. I'm gonna take care of the whole team. Y'all come to Texas, I'm gonna take care of the whole team.
Oh man, he's catering the whole squad, man. So so let's talk about the sights, the sounds, the events, man. I was hoping to have a video. It's not quite ready, so we can't give you a visual. But man, just kind of highlight some of the things that really stood out from this weekend. You know, whether it would be coaches, whether it be parent interactions, man. Anything that made this experience that big of a deal. Because like I said, the exposure was there, regardless. I mean, the exposure was there. But what can we talk about outside of the field? Some of the sights and sounds that really stood out.
I mean, we have obviously the best registration team in the business. I mean, Carla Crow and Nellie Bates, those ladies not only took care of the business, but our team went through so quick. It was just like, wow, they were in their on-time tournament starting on time. Our referees were phenomenal. I mean, that's the stuff that you don't hear a whole lot of write-ups about, but it's there. 24/7 came out, gave a whole recap on our tournament. It's rare for them to do recaps on tournaments, but if you go check it out, 24/7 wrote a whole write-up on Championship 7v7 as being the inaugural event to start off the 7v7 season. On
That's
top of
huge.
that, we had some of the OGs from Florida, as well as some of the new G's in Florida. Okay, we had people out there that had never represented before, but bring their whole family. We had babies in strollers. We had people buying merch. I mean, it was so live out there. It's unreal. Now, if I got to tell you something to look for next time you come out, our police officers. We had a lookalike of Ryan Reynolds out there posting it up on Twitter. It
with
almost went
with his
viral.
puppy
We
cat.
said, people said this boy looked like Deadpool. Come on. He was standing next to our cat Harris that was over there in merch, selling merch. Cat does a phenomenal job, so professional, just out there killing the game. And of course, I know y'all saw our boys Alonzo and RL out there giving y'all the live feeds. So the stuff that you don't see right now, you can go on our Twitter space and find. You can go on our Instagram space and find. You can go on our TikTok space and find. And you can go through our media supporters and go through every one of our media partners pages and find that hot stuff. We had champions on champions on champions on the field. And so what you missed was high flying action, no injury, no fighting, no carrying on. We were out there with high performance, ready to go, tired of COVID players. That's what we had.
Oh, look. Speaking of tired of COVID, I know the feeling. I too am tired of the COVID. If you can't see it in the face, I'm tired of COVID. But
Yes,
nonetheless,
sir.
man, let me do this. We just got our first guest. He's in the green room right now. I'm excited to get to him. We're gonna get there in a second. But first, it wouldn't be right if I didn't splash up the schedule, right? So let's splash up the schedule. Let me bring it a little better size here. So we got the schedule. That's what we do, right? We do things live in person here. So we got some big events coming up, man. So obviously we're gonna be in Texas this coming weekend, right? And then we go to a brand new market, somewhere we ain't been before. We're going to Tucson, Arizona, man. So Tucson, you're up. And look, shortly thereafter, we can't forget about our friends. We're going back to Florida. We're going to see them 305 Jaguars, I'm sure. They're probably going to come back to Orlando, and they're going to show out. So we got Tucson January 29th through the 30th. Then we got Orlando February 5th and 6th. And then obviously we got a handful of other events that you see there. And we'll be recapping everything. We going to have video footage, man. This thing is only growing. It's only getting better. So I wanted to make sure I shouted that out. But hold on. We ain't done yet. We got to shout out who? We got to shout out our sponsors. Our sponsors do real big things. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So shout out to Zenith, who was powering this whole entire circuit. They are the go-to. And then we got our friends at Yoke. We got our friends at Grip Boost. We got what we got? A bunch on here. I feel like I brought up the wrong graphic, but you know what? It's
No, it's
improv.
okay. That's what we got. We got partners too. We got amazing partners, and without our partners, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So we certainly appreciate the 2MG evaluations coming out, giving us those beautiful
There it is.
scouting. Yes, but here you see those Zenith loops, those young people that were on there. The grip boost was out there in full effect. Just in case y'all don't know, those are good for your hands. And then we want something good for your soul. We go ahead and drop that yolk in your system. And a lot of times the young people be like, I didn't know it would taste like this.
Exactly. We got the video, and I was hoping to be able to bring the video up, and that's my fault, man. You know, trying to piece together some things last minute. But hey, man, that video was dope. I saw the video on the Twitter. You had the whole squad taking it at the same time, and the one dude was like, oh. And the other was like, oh, this is good, no cap. And I'm like, I don't even know what the no cap is until recently. You know, I'm not that hip. But again, shout out to all of our sponsors. We appreciate you. So with that being said, man, let's bring up our first coach, Coach Visor. Coach Visor. Let me bring him into the screen here, man. Coach Visor from 24K. This dude, look, this dude's camera quality is better than. Look, better camera quality than what I'm working with, man. I gotta figure it out, man. You're doing big things over there, full HD.
Coach got a whole office and stuff, man. Coach got degrees back on the wall. Coach, what's
Everything 24K level.
everything 24K?
Super
Coach,
excited to be here, guys.
Coach, how long you lived out there in Florida, Coach?
Oh, it's coming up on 17 years now. So I'm used to the heat. Super
Coach, you
excited.
used
Love
to
it.
it, you said. Come on, Coach.
Yeah.
Come on, Coach. Now look, Coach, you were out there showing out. You were out there showing out, Coach. Everywhere I saw you were showing out. It was raining on Sunday and the team forfeited, but you were still there at the field getting ready to show up. Now, did you have it in your mind on Sunday morning, even though the rains was coming, the winds was tumultuous, we had to delay 4 hours, coach, did you have it in your mind that you were going to walk out a winner with your boys?
Well, yeah, obviously it's all about the mindset, and I think the season for us started many, many months ago, and it's all about preparation, the preseason preparation. Not only, of course, myself, the most important aspect is the rest of the coaching staff, the players. We worked a many, many months preparing for this, all the way from the back office that helped us with the recruitment, the selection of the athletes, organizing the tryouts, and so on. The coaches that were working on the schemes, plays, and yeah, we felt that we're there. This is the first year for us as 15U 24K, and we wanted to make sure that we'll make a stance, that people will know that 24K is here to stay at the 15U level.
That's big.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and the players showed up, definitely.
I would say so. So speaking of players, let me do this. Let me pull up. This is what we're working with, right? This is the squad.
Yep,
So these are the dudes that won the championship. These are the dudes holding the trophy in the middle. These are the dudes that are going to show up and show out each and every week at an event, right? That when you show up 24K, 15U, these are them dudes.
yep, that's the team. We have a total of 20 athletes on the team. All of them, as you said, showed up to play, proved that they're top level. And the part that we were super proud is not only their gameplay. For us, of course, all of us as coaches, what we're trying to do is bring the best out of the athletes. And the part that we love is not only that they won, but the respect that they show to the other teams,
For
the way
sure.
they behaved on and off the field. And again, for us, we're trying to develop not only the players, but the person, the team, the whole atmosphere around it as a family. And again, we're all coming from the same background. We're here for the kids, for the athletes,
Love it.
and we were super proud of their accomplishment, the trophy that they got, and the way they took the trophy. No one there can go and say, "Ooh, who are these guys?" We're not arrogant. We're colleagues to everyone.
I like it. So let me do this. Let me bring up the video, right? So we don't have the final product, but we got something to work with, and we're going to use what we got. It's going to show a little bit of who these guys are. I think it's got their names and a couple of snaps. So let's get it queued up. This is 24K 15U right here, and I apologize. I couldn't do the sound, otherwise it would mess up the whole ordeal. But here we are. So these are the same kids that we just saw in that picture, right?
Yep, yeah, that's correct. It, you can see both the offense and the defense playing. This is from our first scrimmage
Okay.
after a long time of preparing for it. Every one of these individuals worked very hard to prepare both on the field, off the field, making sure that they know what is it that they're supposed to do. During the practices, we focus both on, of course, fundamentals, 1v1, and keep escalating it to multiple levels. We have our defense and the offense. Both sides of the ball are really competitive, and you should see how heated in a positive way practices are, trying to make each other better.
I like it.
Uh,
So with the squad, man, like what does practice look like? I'm curious to know what a 7v7 practice regimen looks like. How often do these guys get together? What does practice look like? How do they prepare
so
for these tournaments?
we practice at this point. We're at practice once a week.
Okay.
We meet up midweek and on the weekends where we don't have tournaments. There's three during the season. We also have our own internal training camps. The practice itself starts, of course, with everything that we're used to from 11 on 11 football. We
Okay.
start with flex, making sure that no one will get injured, and then we keep start fundamentals. Even though many of them are very good and very experienced, we always cover fundamentals. Uh, Then we continue with 2v3, 3v4, 7-on-7, and then we move to competition. The difference between 7v7 segment and competition is that the ball keeps moving, so they can see defense feels if they're getting beat, offense feels if they're being stopped, or they keep progressing the ball. And we also have dedicated segments. A dedicated segment would be, as an example, tempo segment, where we want to make sure that, just like the 2-minute drill, but we want to make sure that they're getting used to the pace that we're expecting during the game itself. What we're trying to do is get to a point where, just like I'm sure any other team, we want to make sure that our defense is set before the opposing offense will be ready, and same on the other side of the ball. We want to make sure that our offense is ready, and who knows, maybe be able to snap the ball before the defense can react.
Okay. So look, my guy, Mr. Martin, is asking about a dude named Dougie Glover.
Yeah, Dougie is an amazing, amazing player. First of all, Dougie won the MVP
Yes, he
offense.
did. 13
Yeah,
year old playing 15U, and he won MVP. So
yep.
tell me about Dougie, man.
Dougie is, I'm sure, a name that we're going to hear in many, many circuits in the upcoming years. The most important thing beyond the talent, he's extremely talented, but he works very, very hard, making sure he brings his whole to the practice, asks whenever it's needed, asks questions. And if you would not have known, you wouldn't. He's so mature, and that's a part. Mature, coachable, cares, talented, all of the traits that you need in order to make a player like that make me look good. So that's the kind that we want to make sure to surround ourselves with. Top notch.
That's cool,
Now,
man.
coach,
So go ahead, take it
coach,
from me, Steve, man. I've been talking a lot.
no, coach. Now this young man, he was phenomenal. Okay, bar up. Now tell me something. 13 years old. Why did he decide not to play on the 14U team? Why not play with 14U? Why do you think he decided to take on a challenge and play 15U?
Actually, Steve, the right question is, why is it that he's not playing 18U? He's so good. Why is he not moved? So, dude, the
Okay.
guy is quick. Yeah, he might be a couple of inches shorter, but he's super fast, super talented, amazing hands. He can read the field. He can open up when we go and tell him, "Hey, read, do this, play the inside, the outside." You don't need to explain twice. He knows exactly what we're talking about. And again, we're focused on Dougie, but we have a lot of amazing players there, and that's the cool thing. We're not looking, and of course, Dougie is the MVP, amazing player, but every one of our kids, we teach them, don't be selfish, be a teammate, make sure that the other player will look as good. Because it's very, especially in the 7v7 circuit, sometimes they might be competing for attention, wanting their name on the highlights reel and so on. But eventually, the true success is the success of a team. And I mentioned, as a player, you want to develop we as a coaching staff, their knowledge, their discipline, their skills. But our success is really what's going to happen with them within 3, 4, 5 years as a person. What would be their values, their character, behavior, and as a teammate, if they go and are they cheering for each other? Are they pushing someone? What did you do? And again, you'll see me on the sideline. I would never let any of them. And the cool thing is, I don't need to go and tell them, don't talk each other down, lift each other whenever we have challenges. And that's the true quality that started all the way
And we might have a little pause
from
there with you, Coach Visor.
Mitch,
Might
the
have a little
founder of
pause.
24K, and Damon, and their hedge, everything that they're. Yeah.
No, we got you back. I think we got your audio good again. Oh, so look.
And it's okay because Coach Visor was dropping all the knowledge. And as I was sitting there listening to Coach Visor, I thought to myself, when I was out here coaching a lot myself, I had to ask, what would other people look at and say, I'm gonna trust this person with my child? Listening to Coach Visor talk, I think to myself, boy, I wish I had a son right now. And I'm a coach's coach.
Yo, hold
So
on. Let me pause. Speaking of sons, it wouldn't be right, man, if I didn't shout out my little man. He just turned 1 year old today. So shout out to my
Hey,
guy, Brantley. Daddy loves you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I appreciate
happy
that. That
birthday.
was a perfect segue. So back to coach.
But just
No,
like I
so
said, Coach gives me
again,
the
you told us to
impression
make
of
sure
somebody.
you told us to
Yeah,
make sure
Coach.
that we have strong internet. It sounds like I don't.
Hey, look, you're crystal clear, man. That's a step in the right direction. Your audio is rock solid. We had one hiccup, but hey, it's technology. It's all good. You're back up and running. Keep dropping that knowledge, man, because everything you were saying is actually, exactly in line with what we stand for, what we represent, both at TruXposur and Spotlight 39. We want to talk about, the student athlete. We want to talk about the talent on the field, but more importantly, we want to talk about the talent in the classroom. We want to talk about who you are off the field, because you could be a student athlete, you could be a great, talented young man, but if you don't have the character to back that up and be a better person than you are an athlete, that talent's wasteful, right? So that's my mindset, and that's how I do every single one of my interviews. Every time I have a student athlete on the show, we always stick to that script. We talk football, we talk classroom, and then we talk about them because it's more important to learn about them and what they do and who they are outside of the game than anything else.
Yeah, and what you just said is exactly that. And for us, it's beyond the character. As an example, I'll give you something that is fairly awkward, but we really focus on, as part of developing the team, all of the logistics behind the scenes. As an example, we have the pre-game flex and warm up, and how do we communicate and what do we do that way when we show up on the field. We don't need to waste time on all of these administrative items. And the kids and the athletes are used to, here's the regimen that we need to stick to, and now we can focus on the game. We can focus on what adjustments we need to make, and so on, because the other things, the routine, where to show up. Uh, Again, I'm not going to tell you we're going to meet here in 5 minutes, because 5 minutes is a flat. I'm going to say we're going to meet here at 7:35. That way, you know exactly when you need to meet. And accountability for athletes, they cannot go and say, oh, it's my parent that was not. It's your responsibility. You're, again, Dougie is 13, most of them are 14, 15. They're responsible for their own timeline, but we also need to provide them with the tools. We get, I don't know about other associations, but we have our own huddle account in order to make sure that they would be able to learn. It's our responsibility, the practice regimen, the communication, the back office. We have a lot of staff behind the scenes that allows the coaching staff and the athlete to focus on what they're supposed to. Then again, all of us, there are too many worlds where, as a coach, you also need to do X, Y, Z, and then you cannot focus on coaching and the kids themselves, and they deserve that attention. And last but not least, we have a code of conduct, and it might not be the best thing for every athlete, but we literally we have a player card. On the back of the player card, you'll be able to see what is it that we expect all of them: respect, responsibility, and so many other things that creates not only great players but great athletes that later on will represent us, the championship 7v7, 24K, the sport, all of that. We will make them proud, and as a result, they'll make us proud.
I love it, man. So, Steve, what else do you got for Coach, man, before we jump off it and bring our next guest, Coach
Man,
Franco, the 10U
you,
champions?
you know what, Coach? I'm gonna go ahead and do this right here. I'm gonna go through and say it's such a blessing, man. I rarely have a time where I sit and enjoy a coach so much, and I say to myself, man, I would coach with that, man. I would have my children play for that, man. I can say that about you, Coach. I met you in person, but I can also tell you your demeanor and your mindset about the coaching style is it's brilliant. It's in line with my own personal philosophy, and it definitely is a great representation of a champion with championship 7v7. Would you mind shouting out your boys for us and then leave us with a sound bite of what you would tell your team, if you don't mind? Give us a sound bite of what you would want your team to see uh, with your voice, with this picture, them winning. Go ahead, Coach.
Super proud of all of our athletes, coaching staff, and everything that we've accomplished during this weekend. I'm super excited that you guys are leaving as champions, and more importantly, proud that no one around you feels like a loser.
Look,
Rob.
he said enough, man. So look, Coach, I appreciate it. Steve, I guarantee you appreciate it, man, because the conversations we had went hand in hand with everything that Coach just said. So thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you do. You know, not just for the sport, but thank you for what you do for these kids, man, because you are in line with everything that's right for the kids. So again, thank you. I appreciate you jumping on, man. I look forward to hopefully getting to meet you in person at some point during the circuit. Again, I appreciate you. We're going to bring up our next guest at this point. Who is
See you guys.
that? Absolutely. We got Coach Franco. Coach Franco.
Coach Franco. Coach Franco. He's another one, coach, that I gotta tell you. Coach Franco is one of my favorite coaches. Okay. When I say he's a coach's coach, Coach Franco is a coach's coach. And before I even let you go, Rob, I'm gonna say something about Coach Franco real quick because I like to study people's character when nobody's
Okay.
watching. So we had paid parking. Coach Franco had his family there, first family there, had his black truck. He had pulled around to the backside, was taking stuff out. And I didn't know, I hadn't seen Coach Franco yet. So he was unloading stuff from the truck. Coach Franco came around. I came to the gas, said, hey, y'all gonna have to come out and repark again and stuff like that because we have paid parking. Coach didn't bat an eye. Coach just put his stuff out and he said, you Steve? I said, yeah. I said, you Coach Franco, ain't you? He said, yeah. And so that was it. Coach went out, went back in, didn't even have to. But that's the type of person we're talking to right now. This coach has character, integrity, didn't bat an eye. He heard the rule and the instruction, and he went ahead and did it before I even knew he was Coach Franco. That's
Okay. So with that, let's let Coach Franco introduce himself. Being that you already hyped the man up, so now his intro's got to be good, man. So first, welcome to the show, live broadcast. Championship 7v7 TruXposur Live, brought to you by Spotlight39. Coach Franco, man, tell the world a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what is, Beachside 7v7. Oh, no, I think you're muted.
Yes, I appreciate you guys having me on.
There you are.
I unmuted myself here. But yeah, so appreciate you guys having me on. You guys had an awesome tournament. I'm Coach Franco. I founded Beachside 77 with a good friend of mine, Greg Harmon. I also coach high school football. I'm the OC at Cocoa High. Before all of that, I did about 7 years in the Marine Corps as an infantry officer. So a lot of that all comes into play when we build this team and what we're trying to do. And to be honest, we broke off on our own to really form our own league because there was just a certain way that we wanted to build the program, and how we wanted to build it was we wanted to not only leverage what we thought was the best coaches in the area, but we also wanted to leverage some of the best trainers in the area. We're blessed in Brevard County. We have places like Uberzadi, and we have coach trainers like TJ Montgomery and DB Guru and people like that we're able to leverage. And we don't know it all, and we openly admit that. And we bring in the best to train our kids.
Good deal, man.
We don't know it all either. We don't know it all either. That's why when we had that call into you, Coach Franco, and we said, you know what, this is the situation we got. Coach Franco decided, he said, you know what, we're going to roll. I'm going to talk to my parents. We're going to roll. Kids, if you're listening right now, the reason you're champions is because your coach has a can-do attitude. He don't know quit. He has a can-do attitude. He had a can-do attitude with this old country boy from Texas before even meeting me.
I like it. So look, speaking of champions, right? Speaking of Beachside 7v7 champions, it wouldn't be right if we didn't show who they were, right? So let's bring them up, man. Look, they're better at football than they are at pictures. We get that. But all is well. These are these dudes, right? They look like little babies, but them little babies were out there slanging the rock. Those babies got a lot of views on Big Hits Live across the weekend, right? So these little dudes aren't going to be babies much longer. They're about to be grown little men and continue to show out. So, Coach, man, if you just kind of want to run us through, I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, but if you want to shout out these young men, and kind of just talk to us a little bit about the performance that we saw. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really, really good group of kids that are very, very serious about football. I mean, they're so serious about football. You hear them talk about Madden, and they know who like the third and fourth receiver on the Titans is. Like they are just super into it. But I mean, I would say, we really gotta we try to play the ball where we have offense and defense, and we're trying to have them learn one side of the ball very detailed to begin with. So on offense, it starts with our little quarterback that could sling that ball, Trip Harmon. And he has a very nice complement of receivers around him. He's got my son, we call him Jack Rabbit. He's to the right of left of the trophy in that photo. And then I think that one video that went viral is little Teeter right there, Mo Teeter. He caught his catch in the corner of the end zone was a grown man catch that I would expect a kid from Coco to make. And then the rest of the offense got rounded out this weekend with Aiden Flores, absolute stud. He's one of the youngest kids on the team. I think he probably had 10 catches this weekend. Strider, another great little athlete for us. And then Max helped out on offense. And I don't know if everybody knows, if you talk to any ref at this tournament, that little guy up front, he's really on our 8U team, but I brought him to the tournament because, let's face it, he had to be there anyways, my son. He's the best snapper. Set that tee up. The refs never had to worry about it. I mean, he was the man when it came to the refs. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you see that massive monster in that picture who actually wears the same size shirt as one of the coaches. I mean, that's a 10-year-old. He's 5'5". I definitely, scoured the county and tried to find what I thought was some of the best talent, best athletes. And I think our secondary at 10 years old is all over 5'3". That's what we're doing because we played Fighting Irish a bunch last year in another program. And the one thing that jumped out about me every time they beat us was size and speed. And well, obviously Tyler could sling that rock, but it was size and speed. And we knew we needed that to go compete at a high level.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, Coach. So are we talking about Beckett Pennick?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So Beckett was a bit of a shock. I remember when y'all walked up into the front to get that championship trophy, and I looked over and I said, "No, that's that boy that used to play with Clemson, right? No, that boy ain't over here. He's huge. He's huge. He's a big target, and he works hard, right, Coach."
Yeah, he's a big time hard worker. I mean, he plays with three other kids in Beachside 77 on the same travel soccer team. And we actually one of the reasons we broke away and did our own league is because I'm a big proponent of dual sport athletes. My son plays soccer and football, but it's almost impossible these days to find an organization that has both sports and is willing to say, hey, all of our 10-year-old football players, your practice is Tuesday, Thursday. 10-year-old soccer is Monday, Wednesday. 10U head coach for soccer and football, you both get together, work out your schedule because we want these kids to be able to play two sports during the entire duration of this January to kind of end of May season. And that's what we do. So Beckett is also the goalie in 10U. I mean, he's basically a cheat code in there because he's so big and he's so athletic and rangy. But I mean, it's really important. As so many parents, you get caught in these leagues where you have to play baseball year round. Those kids in high school, they're like, I don't want to play baseball no more.
And so help me out here. These boys that you got together, give me a run through of your practice because I know what y'all do in the game. Give me a run through of practice, Coach. Give me from the time they get out the pickup truck to the time they close out the night. Come on, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, I run practice the exact same way we run it at Coco. We go through we stretch as teams, and then we're on a clock. So we go through station training for the first hour. Our practice is an hour and a half. We go through station training for the first 30 minutes, right? And every coach owns a station. So I'll see every single kid, whether you're on 10U black, green, or the 8U team, you'll come through my station. So I have a little chance to show you some love and tweak you. And you'll go to every coach's station. So you start getting familiar with the whole staff. So we'll do 30 minutes of station training, and then we break up. into your specific team groups. Now you got an hour with your team. And that's when we do our defensive install. When we go to offense, we go through routes on air, and then we go into our offensive game plan and our offensive plays. And everyone thinks that you have to change your coaching style with little kids. No, those kids want to be coached. It's just how
Come
you
on,
teach
coach.
it changes. Because like when I teach a hitch at Coco, I tell them run the hitch at 5 yards, turn around, catch the ball on time. When I teach a hitch to a 10-year-old, I'm like, all right, look to your left, make sure you're aligned with the ball. Check your stance. Make sure your weight's on your front foot. Now explode and stay low. Drive and sell like you're going to run deep. Now put your foot in the ground and stop and turn around, whip your head around, and now look for the ball. Catch the tip of the ball. It's just about breaking it down into the baby steps when they're little, right? And then as the season goes on, I'm not doing that anymore. Now the season goes on, we're talking more about, a hitch corner concept called smash. And they get it. Like, oh yeah, the hitch. I know that hitch. I know the corner. So you put these together. What do we do? All right. Well, you put these together. We're reading this corner. Is this corner bailing to go guard the corner out? Or is he staying with the hitch? And my little quarterback, God rest his soul, because he's got to deal with me now for 5 years. He reads that defense like a high school kid. He really does.
Man.
Yeah. Coach over here giving the whole Bible to the people out here. We always said that we want to create an opportunity to build new coaches. The reason why is because we don't believe that the old systems or the people that have been doing it forever is the only way to go. We believe that every parent out here wants to be able to eventually say, you know what, I think I want to coach a team. Or maybe they played some high school, college ball or something, maybe even played in the pros and said, I'm going to take over a team. But sometimes people lack confidence that haven't been around the sport and they still want to give to the community. So, having coaches like yourself out, Coach, would you have a problem walking over to a young coach and being like, hey, look, the reason why your kids keep getting beat off of this route is because you have your defense lined up the wrong way. Would you do something like that, Coach?
Yeah, I absolutely will. I stayed after and watched the 12U championship game, right? And at the end of the 12U championship game, I actually walked up to like Tyler's dad, and I was like, "Hey," I looked up this kid's name because I want to tell you that kid Jack runs a whip route better than any kid I've seen in high school, right? And I literally took a video of him running some routes, and I was showing my son like, "Look, this is only a year ahead of you. Like this is where you want this the jump you want to make." And about coaches too, like about coaches that are volunteers. Go find the motivated dad that's hovering on the sideline, right? The motivated dad hovering on the sideline, he's there. He's watching. That's the hardest part of coaches, right? You want the guy that's just going to show up at practice and want to be part of it. It's not hard to learn what a cover 3 is. It's not hard to learn cover 2, right? It's hard to get someone that wants to be passionate and volunteer.
Now, Coach, you just shouted out a young man. Now, does he have red hair?
Yeah, number 2, red hair.
Okay, yep. Jack Newkirk. Jack Newkirk is his name. Plays with the Tampa Bay Fighting Irish. Coach, that's a huge compliment you just gave that young person.
Oh yeah.
Okay, huge compliment, especially coming from a high school OC to say that he runs routes that clean. Jack Newkirk, big shout out to you. You might find yourself on a clip out here on Twitter, thanks to Coach Franco showing you that type of love. That shows you a coach that's not selfish, that speaks fairly and equitably about other athletes because he has nothing to lose by giving praise to where it's due. I love that, Coach. Love that.
Yep.
Good deal, man. So Steve, man, what else do you got for Coach before we let him go and then start talking about what's to look forward to this weekend?
Coach is unique. So, Coach, I want you to leave out with the message to all young people, Coach, not just your young people, but I want you to leave out with a sound bite for all young people that's out here struggling right now in the streets. They're trying to get through school. They're trying to deal with COVID. They're trying to just deal with life. You've had to deal with some adversities and some challenges as a Marine. And notice I didn't say former Marine, because once a Marine, always a Marine. So that being said, tell them, Coach, tell them what you want them to know to encourage them.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would tell them, there's 2 things I tell them. Number 1, control what you can control. right? If you could be getting blown out 30-9. I mean, we played that gridiron team the next day, and they were awesome. And we could control. We can control. Let's get the next rep right. Let's get the next series right. Stop looking at the score. Let's just play. And then the last thing, because some of these games get heated, whether it's 7-on-7 or high school. And one thing that we always preach at Coco is you play this game of football not for the hatred of your opponent, but for the love of your brother on your team. And that's the culture that I want to build. Right? We're not going out there because we hate the guys we're playing. We're going out there to ball because we love the guys we play the game with.
I love it. Look, man, I knew I said I was going to let you go after that soundbite. However, fresh off the press, my guy Josh, Big Hits Live, he's tapped in live right now. He wants to know, or he wants you to shout out your TikTok for Beachside because you guys got like 60,000 followers and it's popping. That's what my man said.
Beachside 77, go follow us. Big Hits Live has tagged us in some videos. It's the same name as our Twitter name. TikTok's weird. We just put content out of kids like doing cool stuff and catching awesome passes and grinding and working out. We got a video the day after the tournament of our quarterback, our receiver, and my younger son Joe's snapping most of this tournament. Grinding, lifting weights, and doing it all. So
I
yeah,
saw
go
that,
follow
Coach.
us
I
and
saw
steal
that.
anything you see that we put up. You like a drill we're doing? Feel free to DM us. We'll share everything we got.
I love it, man. So look, Coach, I'm not going to take any more of your time. It was a pleasure.
Appreciate you.
Keep grinding. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep representing Beachside. You guys are first class through and through. Congratulations on the big win. Hopefully we get to link up in person. I'd love to meet you myself. So with that being said, man, we got to talk about Texas. So I'm going to bring up a Texas graphic. I'm going to say goodbye to my guy, Coach Franco. And then we're going to be joined by another special guest here in just a moment. But let me bring this up, right? Because this is that Texas showdown. That's what we're talking about. That's what we got to look forward to this weekend. January 22nd through the 23rd, Plano, Texas, just outside of Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, just outside of Dallas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Doing real big things.
DFW area. We call it the DFW area here in Texas. Yes, sir.
I love it. So look, that's the graphic. Now it's time to get ready to talk to our first coach from Texas. And he represents who? The West Texas Elite.
Yeah.
I love it.
Texas Elite. Now that's Coach Hendricks. Now come on now. Come on.
Coach Hendricks. He's ready, man. He's got the hands ready. Do we bring him in? Bang, bang. Here he is. Look, he's been in the green room.
Right there. That's the coach. Coach, turn us up in the mic. Coach, turn us up in the mic.
You got to unmute yourself, brother. He's so excited he got himself on mute.
Nah, Coach was ready 3 weeks ago to go.
Coach
said, when is the schedule coming out? We want all the smoke. Let's go, Coach.
So look, while he's got that, man, let me see if I can't do this one more time because he's still muted. So, Coach, you might want to jump off and then jump back on using that same link. But while you do that, I'm going to bring up our good friends, our sponsors once again. Shout out to our official sponsors of the circuit, Zenith with the mean gear, right? Then we got our team at Yoked, right? And let me take it back. Zenith is power the entire circuit. They are the powering partner for Championship 77. And then we got Yoked, which it might look like a little powder. It might look like a little strange. But look, if you watch the video that went pretty popular on the social networks, right? We got these kids taking shots of this product, talking about, oh, that's tasty. That tastes good. No cap. I didn't know what no cap was. I had to look it up. But don't be left out here. We got our friends at Grip Boost, right? Grip Boost. Steve, what do they offer? What do they got for the people?
Man, Grip Boost got phenomenal stuff. I mean, if your hands are already good, they say, you know what, let's go ahead and put some more work in on your hands. They want to make sure that when you put those gloves on, they want to make sure that you can do finger catches. However, I always say technique wins. So Grip Boost for your hands.
I love it.
For your hands. Let's go.
So that's the official sponsors. And now back to the regular scheduled broadcast, right? We got our
Yes,
guy,
sir.
Coach Andre Hendricks, West
How y'all
Texas
doing?
Elite, man. Live HD, ready to go, big smile. So let's get into the conversation, man. Before Steve takes your shine, I'm going to give you the opportunity. Go ahead, tell the world who you are formally, what you do, tell us a little bit about, the West Texas Elite. How long you guys been rocking? What do you guys represent, man? Just give us a snapshot of what we got to look forward to in Plano, Texas this weekend.
Yes, sir. How y'all doing today? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So we good to go, man. First and foremost, appreciate you guys, having us. Sorry about that drop on the phone.
It's all good.
Appreciate having us, on the show, man. It's a blessing to be able to give back to the community first and foremost. And, that's what I'm about. When I first started this organization, we were originally one even West Texas Elite. We were called FTC 806, which is the flight team crew. a little joke right there. But originally, whenever I started this, I was working with kids under the age of 12 on some speed and agility training. And it just progressed from there to linking up with some high school kids and middle school guys. And, the last 2 years, we've had an 18 under team. And, now this year we're expanding with a 12U, 15U, and now 18U team. So we're excited to get down there this weekend. And, we're trying to let everybody know that we do have talent out west, as you can see, with some guys like Major Everhart, Brandon Thompson, guys out in the 806, going to these big time
Hold on,
programs,
hold on.
that's
Who did you just shout out? And tell us. Don't just say their name, man. Tell us who they are and where they committed to. Because these are some
okay.
big name recruits going to some big name Power Fives.
Well, you got Major Everhart, he went to Tascosa High School, he is going to TCU. And then you got Brandon Thompson, he's going, I'm a big UT fan, so he's going down to Austin with Steve Sharkees. And so, there's a lot of more gems out this way. And I'm excited for you guys to get down there and see.
So when you say out this way, man, give us an idea of where you are. Because my man Steve says, look, they're in No Man's Land, Texas, and I want to know where No Man's Land, Texas is. Like,
Well,
how far are you away from your biggest city?
so I guess Oklahoma City is like 4 hours from Amarillo. That's where we're at. And we have kids from Amarillo, Abilene, and Lubbock. Abilene to Dallas is about 3 hours. Amarillo to Dallas is about 5 hours. So, we're making a sacrifice, driving from here going down there. So, like I tell my kids, we're not wasting time. You're not trying to really waste money going to these tournaments. You're going down there for exposure. You guys got the TruXposur Championship 7v7. The name speaks for itself. So, like I was telling my young group today, we had 12U practice today, and I was telling the 12U guys, hey, it's going to be some competition down there with some of these big 12-year-olds. But the thing about it is we're going down there to play our game, compete, and, try to make these guys adjust to us. It's going to be cold this weekend, and I think that's an advantage we do have, because we are in the West. You get the cold, you get the wind, so a lot of these kids are going to be used to it. Now we're going to see, can the Metroplex guys and those Houston kids and those South Texas kids, can you survive 2 days in the cold? And hopefully our guys can withstand that, and hopefully we can be hosting one of those trophies at the end.
Look,
Hey,
man.
Coach.
And then we might have to have him back on next week, right? We might have to have him back
Oh,
on talking about
hey,
what his boys did from out west down around
yes, sir.
Dallas.
You already know it, yes, sir. I'm
Coach said
originally from
20
the
degrees
Metroplex.
ain't nothing, though. 20 degrees ain't nothing. Coach, you said y'all finna eat 23 degrees, huh?
Tomorrow is supposed to, the high is supposed to be 25 tomorrow out here.
Look, man, we supposed to get snow here in Virginia again overnight. They already been called to cancel school because we're under another advisory. This is their third or fourth in the last 2 weeks.
Yes,
Crazy.
sir.
So look, Coach, we got this boy, Keegan Anderson, man. Talk to me about this young man real quick.
All right, so I know y'all had a guy, I guess 24/7 coach. Was that the 13-year-old? Is he the quarterback on that 15U team?
Oh,
Y'all
No,
Dougie.
from
no,
yeah.
13-year-old was a 13-year-old was his I think it was his
Dougie
receiver.
Glover played 15U, won
Okay,
MVP, but not quarterback.
I got you. Well, Keegan played 18U last year, and he was 13, and he was our MVP of the whole year. From the stats, I kept 67 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. He touched the field as a true freshman at Abilene Cooper and just recently transferred to Abilene Wiley, and he's going to be a sophomore. So
Hey.
when he told me his favorite quarterback was Steve McNair, that's all I needed to know
Come
about this
on.
guy's mental. And, you know, he has a dad that's, you know, my assistant coach, and we have a really good relationship. And, you know, our first scrimmage, his first action was last year. We had a scrimmage with Texas Ice. And I had brought in two other quarterbacks, and two other quarterbacks didn't play too good. And one of the referees was out there saying, hey, this kid back here has just got a motor. He feel like if he gets in, he's going to start slinging it. So his first pass he ever throws was an interception, but it was the best interception like he ever threw
Come
in
on.
life. I was like, okay, you about to go right back in there because I feel like he about to go to work. The next drive, you know, he goes down there and scores, and now he's kind of taking over the for my 18U division. You know, he's kind of taking over that role, being 14. And what I'm hoping you guys see this year is, you know, it not only with the exposure, just more of a leadership role, you know, kind of just letting everybody know who he is. You know, he's about 6'1" and he's growing. If you want me to give you a comparison to right now, you know, I think he might be as big as Cam Newton, you know, because his dad is about 6'3", 6'4".
Ooh.
So this kid is on the rise, and, you know, he's not a small kid. You know, it's kind of like a Big Ben, you know. He's
Now,
smart for his
Keegan's only
age.
a freshman, right? Keegan's only a freshman, right?
Only a
So,
freshman. And
so body size, you're saying body size right now. Keegan, give me the body size comparison again. You saying Keegan's almost at that size of a Cam Newton?
about the same age when Cam was a freshman, if you go back and look, and I think he's not done growing. I think by the time he's done, you're looking at 6'4", 6'5", 6'3". He already got a cannon, and we're gonna work on the feet work, trying to get that speed up, you know, because speed does kill. So, you know, trying to really make him not a dual threat, but trying to make him a dual threat to add that other element, because you're always trying to improve your game. That's what
Now,
I always trying to encourage. So what?
Coach, I'm gonna tell you something right here. You got your hands full, Coach. Is Keegan up for the challenge? Keegan gonna be looking at a depth of 27 other teams in 18U.
All right.
27 other teams in 18U. Now, Coach, that's 28 total teams in 18U.
Yes,
That's
sir.
depth, Coach. I want you to go ahead and put yourself out there, Coach. You ain't seen all these teams, and neither have I. Some of these boys are coming all the way in from the great state of Iowa. I said
Oh.
Iowa. Now, what you gonna do, Coach, when the boys get out there? Talk to me. What's the game plan for preparing for any number
Well,
of teams?
we last year we struggled on day 2 a lot, you know, so it's win or go home. You know, playoffs it's different than that pool play, because if you have one bad game, you can go home. So what I'm really trying to push on my guys at all 3 levels is trying to get chemistry, so that way when day 2 hits, you know, we can hit it and run. I really honestly don't care who we play. I honestly don't care what type of rankings they got. You know, I have faith in my guys, you know, the guys that's been loyal to me, the guys that consistently come to our workouts. Every day out here, we have workouts from 5 to 6 or 4 to 5, 12U all the way to 18U. And, you know, we're getting between 15 and 20 kids out every day. And it's not a practice. This is just our workouts where we're working feet work, agility work, one-on-ones. Then when we get into our practice, you know, that's when we kind of teaching. You know, we're really simple. I'm a really simple guy, you know, because I want my guys to be able to play. I feel like if you allow your kids the opportunity and the platform like they have, they'll make plays for you. And at the end of the day, I told them, if you want to get yourself recruited, you got to make plays. And I think this weekend our guys going to be up to the task. Anything but a Final Four trip is going to be a failure for us. I'm not going to lie to you. It's why I
Oh, he
told
said
my
it
18
first.
guys this weekend.
He said it first. Anything outside of a Final Four appearance, it's
You
a
mean you
failure.
want semifinal berth? You want to be in them semifinals, Coach?
Yeah,
All
exactly,
three? All
because
3 levels, Coach? All 3?
all 3 levels. You know,
All
my
3 levels.
12U,
Now, Coach, we got
15U, all 3
Oklahoma
levels.
coming in. We got Louisiana
Oklahoma,
coming in. We got
yes sir.
Iowa coming in. And
Yes, sir.
obviously, we got Texas coming in. We even got another team from Missouri coming in. Now,
Oh,
you got
Yes, sir.
King Thomas that just came on. He said, I'm gonna quote King Thomas. He said, "Yes, sir, coach." Is that how he was saying?
King. Hey, that's another one of our guys. He's class of 2022. He's actually, he's a senior this year, but he rushed for 1,000 yards at Abilene High in 6 games. He
six
missed four
games.
games due to a hamstring, and he's a kid that can play on either side of the ball. And because of this, I feel like 7-on-7 and going to these different opportunities, I think he can maybe pull off maybe a D2 offer late, or maybe FCS, just depending on how much he puts in that time and effort. I'm very have a relationship with all my guys, a personal, and try to keep it outside of football to where when we get on the football, it's football. But I talk to these guys daily. Sometimes they get on my nerves. I'm not gonna lie to you. These teenage kids, but it's a blessing, like I said, to be able to be where we're at, to actually be on this platform. A lot of our guys just want a platform. And I'm done playing. I done did everything I could do playing wise. Now it's about giving to the next generation. And the challenge for me, what can I do as a coach to improve? Sometimes the heat of the moment, you might get caught up into it, but as a coach, the way you react, your way your players react. Like I tell them, let me handle officials. You guys just play. Let me handle any delays or anything that may go apart. You guys just stay focused on the task at hand because that's what you have to do. And at the end of the day, you play football. Whether it's rain, sleet, snow, whatever, you got to be able to go out there and play. And if you guys want to play at that next level, you have to be able to play in those elements. And it's going to be interesting this week. But, like I told you, I'm hoping for, at least a Final Four appearance and then maybe, a championship game appearance. It's a lot of pressure, I feel like, on, I set a lot of pressure on myself just to try to compete with the Metroplex. Originally being from Dallas, I know how
Mm.
competitive it
Come on,
is
coach.
down that way.
Come on, coach.
I went to Rancho High School in Irving, so graduated
So y'all
'09.
ever played them boys? Y'all played them sock boys over there?
In basketball, they did. Back at that time, I think in our district we had Dallas Madison, Dallas Roosevelt, Lake Worth, Fort Worth, Castleberry. But them sock boys, hey, I look forward to seeing them this weekend. I know some are going to be out there. My mom graduated from sock in 1980, so it was definitely an experience for them, the inner city, to win, and I use that to advantage out here because we're not as diverse out here in the in the West Texas area. But the
Yeah.
thing about it is, it doesn't matter about the race. It doesn't matter about color. You put the pads on if you got pads. And 7-on-7, we putting our soft shells in our gloves, and we're gonna go out here and we're gonna go to war.
I love it, man. So
Yeah.
look, hey Steve, man, what do we got for him before Coach jumps off and we bring on our next guest to
Yeah.
spice up
I just
Texas a
gotta
little
say.
bit more, man?
I gotta say, just cause you up in Virginia, you might not be familiar, but let me tell you what we was just talking about. We was talking about South Oak Cliff,
Well,
and
I ain't got a
for a lot
clue,
of
but I was
people out
going with
there,
it.
you look South Oak Cliff, we call it SOC because they're a school that don't get a whole lot of love from the fiscal side, but boy, do
Okay.
they be producing athletes out there. And
Yes,
they
sir.
put the work in. Those young people won the state championship in Texas in their division this year and showed all the way out. Had people
Yes,
from
sir.
news reporters and everybody coming back in to show love to them. It really felt like they was back in the city in New Orleans or something, having some
Okay.
second lives and things. It was
Yeah,
real
yeah,
nice.
they
It was
did.
real nice. So for
They did.
coach, because this coach, I met I met Coach Hendricks on the field in Plano last time at Carpenter Park. And boy, just to see Coach and Coach still working, showing his passion and putting in the good work for the young people out there. Coach, what would you tell these young men that you've been coaching, putting time in? They know that you have a relationship with them out. We're gonna have it where we give a clip of you that's gonna be on all of our social media, and I want you to speak right to those young men right now and tell them what you really think about
Man, just remember this. Always put God first. With Him, anything's possible. Always have your parents' back, do anything. Basically, whatever how you raised at home is how you're gonna proceed in life. So, like I tell my kids, if you have a dirty room, you're gonna probably be disorganized at school or disorganized on the football field. I like taking what I learned from all my playing days. I went to Hardin Simmons in college, and we always had a saying, four-way test. Coaches believe in players. Players believe in players. Coaches believe in coaches, and then players have to believe in coaches. If you do those 4 ways, the 4-way test, then your team and yourself will be successful. Also, always have that dog in you. Step on that field. Don't ever lay down for anybody. I tell anybody right now. Cowboys call me. They ask me to run that 3-tech. Hey, me and Connor Williams going at it all day. All day. I'm letting you know right now. All day, Connor Williams, bull rush. I'm setting you up. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am, man. You gotta have it.
Yeah.
And most importantly, you gotta love the game. If you don't love the game, you're not gonna love the process. You're not gonna love getting up at 5 a.m. You're not gonna love getting up at 4 a.m. You're not gonna love missing weddings, missing events, missing prom nights, missing all these different events if you really love the game. But the few that do, those are the ones that be successful.
Good deal, man. So look, I appreciate it. Shout out to the West Texas elite, all the way from West Texas, where it does get cold, right? Where they know what 25 degrees feels like. They bringing that weather to Plano this weekend, man. So, Coach, again, I appreciate it. Hopefully, we get to link up at some point during the circuit. Until then, man, keep doing what you're doing. Keep grinding for these kids, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate both of y'all, man. See y'all this weekend.
Yes, sir.
See you, Coach.
All righty.
So look, man, I'm going to bring the graphic back up. It's the Texas Showdown. That's what we're talking about, right? So while I got that up, who do we got up next? Who do we got up next, man? Look, this dude has a Twitter following second to none. I think as soon as we drop the name, people are going to go crazy. People already know who this dude is, man. He's doing real big things. So let's get into it. Let's find out who the guest is. Who is it, Steve? It's our dude, Coach Flight. Let's go. Look, man. So, Steve, I'm going to stop you before you steal his shine again, because that's what you like to do, man. You like to jump the gun. So I'm going to hand the floor to my guy, Coach Flight. Let himself, formally introduce himself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, right, what you do, and then ultimately tell us a little bit about Flex, right, and what we get to expect to see from your squad or your squads, right? Tell us who you're bringing this weekend. Oh, no. My guy is muted.
How y'all doing?
Oh, there we go.
Coach Flight.
Hey, Coach, man, do me one solid. Do me one solid, man, because we're on a real big delay. So go ahead, exit out of this and rejoin using that same link, and we should be solid. So look, while he does that, man, I'm gonna pull up this Texas Showdown one more time, Steve, because the graphic says it all, man. They're doing real big things.
28 teams, including PPT is going to show up. The picture you see right here, PPT showing up. So we're going to have 28 18U teams alone.
That's outrageous.
Competition. Coach Flight, he going to bring with Team Flex, Texas Flex, he going to bring 4 himself. Some people show up and bring 1. He going to bring 4. Some people can't even bring half a team. He bringing 4 in the same division.
Slow motion.
You're hearing this in slow motion? Look, man, I told you got to have a good internet connection, but it's all good, man. As long as you can hear us, even as long as it comes through, we can rock with it. We're having some technical difficulties, man, but it's all good. So look, while we talk about Texas, like I said, man, Arizona, you're on the clock. We got to bring this up here, right? Because this is the end of the month. This is how we're closing out the month. We're going to Tucson, Arizona, somewhere we've never been before, doing real big things. So let's see if we got Coach Flight with good audio. How are we feeling? Mic check, mic check.
Y'all can hear me? We good?
We can hear you. We good.
All right, let's roll.
Perfect. So let's get back to the broadcast, man. Coach Flight, formally introduce yourself to the world. Tell us who you are, what you do, a little bit about Flex, and what we get to look forward to from your squad or squads. Because my man Steve said you're bringing like 4 teams. So what do we get to look forward to?
So flight skills out of the DFW. I do defensive back, linebacker skill training. I'm the one of the co-head coaches along with Coach O with Texas
Shout out to
Flex.
Coach O, man.
Shout out to
Coach
Coach O,
O,
man.
Coach O, Coach Opportunity, Opportunity University. Man, this man is doing real big things, man. At some point,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna meet this dude because this dude does special things, man. And I wanna feel like I'm involved because this dude is incredible in all avenues when it comes to a student athlete, especially a student athlete in Texas. So the fact that
Yes,
you
sir.
shout out my guy, Coach O, I gotta show him some love too, man. Because I've had a lot of kids on the show. They've come through, right? Some of the kids have rocked with you, right? They've trained with you. But then, man, a lot of kids, they just shout out my guy, Coach O, because he does so much for so many.
Absolutely, man. He's the heart of the Metroplex, man. In my opinion, the state of Texas, man. Like recruiting runs through him, whether you're a client or not. He's taking care of kids, helping coaches get jobs, things like that, man. So he's a big part of what goes on in the DFW Metroplex as far as high school football and coaching as well.
I love it. So what do we get to look forward to from you in the Texas Flex, man? Steve said you're bringing
Man,
4 teams. What 4 teams we
four
bringing?
teams, man. 4 teams. We're gonna go with black, white, gold, and gray. So what we did was we separated our teams evenly. We like to compete with each other as well as everybody else. So we separate them evenly. We got some dogs on one team. We got dogs in another team. One
Come
team
on.
is going to feature, we'll have Jonte Cook, Decorian Moore, Jake Strong on one team. Then the other
Jake
team, we'll have
Strong. Shout out
Cole
to Jake
Russell.
Strong.
There we go. Who's heating up on Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, he
Shout
is.
out to QB1. And Ashton Cozart. We got some pretty strong defensive guys on both teams. We'll have Ryan Yates and Kamen Mathis, Brian Hollins, Brennan Jordan on one team. We'll have Lamadrick Spencer, Deldrick Madison. It's just so many names, man. We'll have to submit you guys a roster. Our young cats are the ones to look out for too. The 15U group is going to be real solid. We got some pretty big household names, and 8th and 9th graders are gonna do some pretty good things this weekend. So we're really just looking forward to compete, man. It's been a long time. I'm welcome, happy to be back on the circuit. Glad we can start it off here in Dallas with you guys, and I'm looking forward to the field, man. I see that tweet going out, and the numbers getting higher and higher. So I'm like, 60 teams, let's get it going on Friday.
Hold on,
Let's
hold
try to
on.
get it kicked off on
I think
Friday.
we moved past 60 teams, man. I think we're a cool 70 at this point.
Hey, coach, I gotta tell you, man, you got a lot of boys on that roster, man. Well, for boys that are coming representing you like this. I gotta say, coach, you got the dogs in the game. Do you feel? I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the spot, coach. This is what DBs do. How many PAs, points against, are you gonna assure us that your boy's gonna stay under whole tournament?
14.
Oh,
14. 14. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ooh. Now,
I'm
coach,
putting the
wait a
pressure
second.
on my dogs.
I'm gonna give you some
I'm
room,
putting the
coach.
pressure on my dogs. Oh, you talking about for the entire tournament?
yeah.
I'll be generous and I'll say each team may score once. If they get the score, they'll score once.
Okay.
They'll score
That's
once.
look, that's big time.
Yes, sir.
Now look, coach. I was gonna give you some backtrack on that because on our website, championship7v7.net, they have the rules. And if you get a defensive stop, you get points. You get 2 points. So if
Yes,
they
sir.
happen to stop your offense, because remember, your defense don't got nothing to do with your offense, coach.
Oh, we'll see now. Now, I'm not going to lie. Offense be hard to stop. I think they're going to score every possession. I'll put it to you like that. We're going to score every possession, and we're going to get them defensive points too. It could get ugly. Now, if you don't score, if you don't stop us, it's going to be a 3-score game within the first couple minutes.
Oh.
So I'm just letting y'all know whoever lines it up is nothing personal, man.
Hold on.
No, I'm just playing. We're here to get some good work, man. I know it's going to be some good quality teams there, and I respect a lot of teams around this area. A lot of teams I know that are coming. There's going to be some high-powered offenses. There's going to be some really good defenses, but these guys here, man, they've been working for the past 3-4 weeks, and and just the unit that we're putting together in the scheme, should I say, the scheme and the atmosphere. This last practice might have been the best practice that we've ever had in the organization of Texas Flex. And guys are really competing. It was really intense. And that's what I love to see, man. You know, even if I have kids that play on other programs, other teams, I love to see guys competing and have fun, keep it clean. It's all on the field. So I understand, you know, emotions get high, but keep it clean, man. Let's just have fun. Let's compete. Let's get better. And let's get back to football season
That's it.
better than when we left.
That's the idea, man. Because look, 7-on-7, it's great, right? It's a good time. But the reality is, man, iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron, right? And you coming out here, right? Texas Flex as he's flexing, right? Live on the broadcast. So we appreciate that, man, because that's always a good time, man. Always spice up the kids and hype them up because that's what they deserve, man. But you said it best, man. Come out, compete, but do it the right way and have fun, right? Do it the right way and have fun, and sharpen your iron. Compete against the best, and then when it comes to September or late August, when season starts and you're ready to put pads on, guess what? You get to utilize those skills that you sharpen all season long in the 7-on-7, and you get to put that in work. And then what's that going to do? That's only going to make them better, right? Because time and time again, people will debate whether or not 7-on-7 is good for exposure, good for recruiting, right? Well, guess what?
Yes.
I think it's proven itself that 7-on-7 is an absolute asset and strong tool when it comes to sharpening your skill set, but more importantly, gaining the exposure. And recruiting really does heat up. It heats up. And that's what this is all about, man.
Yep.
So you couldn't have said it any better. Steve, I'm talking a lot again, man. Go ahead, take it from me.
No, I just want Coach to talk to me some. I mean, Coach, you've been training these DBs, especially they come to your squad, they're gonna get into work, Coach. So tell us, which one do you think right now? Give us me top 3 or 4 DBs that's standing out that's gonna go ahead and be able to put in some work when they actually go ahead and roll into college. Go ahead, tell me the ones that you know. As soon as they get to college day one, they're gonna be competing for that starting position.
You referring to for our program or just anywhere in the Metroplex?
Your program, only
Flex.
your program.
From my program from Flex, okay, we have Ryan Yates is probably our alpha dog on defense from Denton Guy High School. I think he's going to be a safety. Wherever he lands, he has the physicality, the length, the instincts, the confidence of anything. Ryan believes in Ryan more than anybody. I mean, when I first met the kid, I went to go correct him, and he was like, man, I already know. I didn't do this right. And then the next play, he went out there and done it. I love it, man. Like I love the personality. I love the confidence. Another kid I like really well on our program, Lamadrick Spencer. Instinct second to none, man. I see him jumping routes. I see him not afraid to get hands on guys. That type of stuff is something you can't teach kids. Like instincts and physicality, that's a 1-2 thing. Physicality is always 1-2 in football. So if you want to tackle, you got to want to tackle. You got to want to press. Those kind of things. And then Brendan Jordan is another one that'll run through a brick wall, man. I mean, that kid's probably going to go into a program right away and be able to play a safety or a nickel position. He's got good speed, good size. And another kid that's just very smart, high academic kid that will do anything you ask of him.
High academics. High academics, man. That seems to be the topic of every conversation we've had with any coach that's been on this show thus far. And I love it.
Yeah,
because you could have all this.
You're saying it, Coach. I'm trying to see if all these boys on the same squad. I can tell the audience. Look. I'm just like, Lord, have mercy. All these boys on the same squad. I said, well,
we jumbled it up. We jumbled it up. We jumbled it up.
Coach,
I'm gonna make it fair this time. Now, the next time we see y'all, I can't guarantee I'm gonna separate the dogs like that. We put all them dogs together on one team, and it's go. We coming for blood that week.
Okay, look, man, we come to Plano 2 or 3 times this season, so we get to see you boys.
We'll be there. We'll be there twice.
Okay.
We got nationals on the schedule too. So.
Oh, he got nationals on schedule. Look, he's getting that bid. He'll be there.
Did you compete with us last year, Coach? Did you compete with us last year in any of our tournaments?
My 15U came to Plano. We didn't get to come because of camps and other things we had scheduled, pre-draft training on my part, but we're gonna make sure to be there at least 3 times this year. I love the scoring system. Any tournament that's allowing defense to score points, it makes the game so much better because you have to continue to play the entire game. It's nothing personal. If the score gets out of hand, that means our defense is doing what they got to do. That means offense is doing what they got to do. If the score is close, that means there's turnovers or stops, stalled out drives, things like that. Like we try to cut those mistakes. So it gets real competitive. Let's see who can get the most points on defense by getting interceptions. Who can get the most stops on defense, or who's getting us off the field. So that way it kind of shows that we're competing as a whole team and not just like, because in other leagues, and that's just how I feel about our offense. If we stop you twice on defense, you're not winning because we can just run the clock out.
Now, Coach, let me ask you this, because I somewhere I read, Coach, I love saying that. Somewhere I read a famous DB coach said, if you allow a quarterback to run in your tournaments, we will not be there. Now, Coach, what great man said that, Coach? What great man said that?
That's the prophet and philosopher flight skills. Yeah, we're not coming to that, man. And the only reason why is because now I'll be man enough to say, hey, I might not have known the official rules, but from what I seen a guy take off on a scramble and run a touchdown in for 10 yards. So are we playing a passing game or are we playing a running game? Because now if the quarterback can run, I got to keep a QB spy in. And that's going to change the entire defense. And it's going to make it a little bit, it might even the game out a little bit, but we got flag football for that, in 7-on-7, we're trying to work on.
I got a real DB coach on here. I got a real defensive coach on here. Because, see, a real defensive coach going to talk that type of talk. A real defensive coach going to say, look, what is the purpose of this form of practice? Because there's a lot of people that never coached before. They get real up in arms about just winning games, but you don't prepare those kids for what? For Friday nights, right, Coach?
For Friday nights, exactly. I don't want my quarterback to think in a 7-on-7 game, I can run 4 verts and just take off running. That's what most teams are gonna do with their best athlete at quarterback.
Oh yeah.
Probably got the skill set of like Michael Vick that's gonna get every first down. He's gonna juke kids in open space. I don't want to see it, man. I don't want to see that. That's NFL
Coach,
street, man. You can't do that.
It's not in our rules. There's no D tackles and D ends lined up, because if you get in the mindset, and I always watch. Let's chop it up football style, Coach. I always love to watch it when I see a quarterback just take the ball off the tee and just stand there. I say to myself, what is he doing? What you're supposed to be teaching kids to do is take their proper 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way out to 7 drop. Get your rhythm together. But that 4 seconds is also kind of a facade, because you got 200, 300-pound men coming for your head. Am I wrong, Coach?
No, you're right. Absolutely correct.
So does your defense need the blitz in order to be successful in 7-on-7?
No, sir. For one, the defense already has an advantage, because a lot of people, and I had a parent one time who didn't really realize the numbers. The T is counting as a person for the offense. So now you got 5 receivers and a quarterback. So now we have 7 guys on defense. So we already have a +2 advantage. So if you need to blitz as well as have an extra person, then you need to come up with a better scheme. Our scheme is what applies pressure to the quarterback, not the blitz. We don't need the blitz. We gonna confuse you with movement, secondary movement, and linebackers moving, things like that. Post snap movement is what applies pressure to the quarterback, because he has to analyze, and he's going against the count and our movement to try to find an open guy. And on down and distance situational football, like we're playing ahead of the sticks every rep. So if y'all got time to come watch us this weekend, watch how these guys go to work.
Look, man, people gonna see you guys work. We got my man Josh making the trip from Florida. So look, 25 degrees, man. You can imagine what the type hat he's gonna have. He jumped on when it was 68 and sunny in Florida with the biggest furry hat that I've ever seen in my life. So his gear is probably going to be like Eskimo status. But nonetheless, Josh from Big Hits Live, who got over 1 million impressions this past weekend in Florida, in Little Haines City, smashed between Orlando and Tampa, Haines City. Man, we're talking Plano. We're talking 70 plus teams. My man Big Hits Live is going to have the content, TruXposur content. So look, your dudes will be seen, and they will be seen a lot. And if them dudes are making plays, they're going viral. It's happening, man. We had mad kids last weekend. They went viral. They went viral and got recognition from 24/7 Sports that they didn't think that they would get, man. That's what we're bringing to the table. That's what we're bringing to Texas. That's what TruXposur is all about. Helping these kids get that real exposure that they deserve to get to that next level. Now, obviously, you got a Power 5 type squad, right? But not everybody's like that. Not everybody's like that, right? So we got those diamonds in the rough, right? You know, the ones that somehow slip through the cracks and don't necessarily get the exposure they deserve. And that's what we're bringing, man. So that's what we get to bring to Texas. And we're excited to see what Texas Flex bringing to Plano, right? You guys run the Dallas Fort Worth area. That's what you're telling me, man. That's what he's saying. You know, you might score once.
Yes, sir.
So that tells me you run the Texas area. So we're excited to see what you guys got. Steve, what do you want them to close this thing out with before we wrap the show?
I don't know. Coach is a coach. See, we didn't have nothing but some coaches on here now. I do have a little help from time to time selecting the people that come on, but I can tell you right now, when RL said we need to get RL Martin said we need to get Coach Flight on. I said, Coach Flight, we'll see if Coach Flight can take our call because Coach Flight be busy. He in there, he in the lab working.
I'm at work right now. I was like, let me get 20 minutes away real quick. Take call. Work. Like my boss right there.
Look, shout out to your boss for letting you step away, man. This is a big deal, man.
Coach, I want you first and foremost, I want you to take the opportunity to give a shout out to your own business. I want you to do that first.
Absolutely.
And I'd like for you to leave us. I want you to leave us, Coach, with a sincere thought for how the young men should be behaving on the streets. Okay, you tell them how they should be behaving on the street. So first, I'd like you to take some time because sometimes we got a little audio. We want to make sure your audio come through for this advertisement promo for your business. I want to hear your business being shout out, all the tags, and then I want you to tell us what the young men should be doing in the streets.
Got you. So everybody, before you log out, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Flight Skills with the Z at the end. Flight Skills. I keep the content flowing on the DB training, just information and things on Twitter as well. Kind of keep everybody educated on the position and things like that. And future events, camps that I might be doing with Coach O, Coach Hooks, D-Rob, Clay Mack, all these guys that we have around the Metroplex. And just continue to keep feeding into you guys and helping y'all grow as players, get ready for the next level. Now, as far as what I want to leave you guys with today is understand in this day and age that everything y'all do is a part of y'all's brand. So when you're out in public and we're at these events, like I said earlier, handle yourself accordingly. It's okay to score a touchdown. It's okay to celebrate. Don't bring another player down, especially when you're supposed to be that guy. Act like you've been there. Celebrate with your teammates. Continue to keep a clean brand, keep a clean image. Everybody's watching, man. You just never know when the camera's on you. You don't want to get caught jogging, walking to the line, lazy reps, things like that somebody might be paying attention that you think is not paying attention, and it shows. And it's a part of your character in your game. So, while you're out on the football field, man, your cleats is laced up, gloves on, man, it's 110%. And just continue to grow as players, man. Take the offseason serious. Stay healthy, stay out of trouble, and just get ready for spring ball.
So speaking of staying out of trouble, man, football season ends, right? Maybe they don't play another sport. What should these dudes be doing to stay on the right track, man? Because it's far too easy these days to go off and do things that they shouldn't do. So what advice do you have in that aspect to keep it clean off the field to help build their character and become a better man?
And see, the thing that these guys got to understand is you want to pick up that second sport, not even if it's not for – you might not be good at it, but, like, I recommend all football players, powerlifting, track, if you're a linebacker or interior lineman or something like that, wrestle, like something that applies to your position in a way to where you can still grow athletically. Because if you're just doing football off season, then at the end of the day you just go home. That's too much time from the end of the school day to the next day that you have to just get into something, make a bad mistake, be in the wrong place at the wrong time, things like that. I don't recommend, truthfully, having to work as a high school athlete unless you have to work. Now, like my upbringing was a little different. I used to have to go to East Texas over the summers and help my grandma out in the
That's
fields
right.
and do stuff like that. But that kind of stuff, like I used to have to use the actual like push non-automatic lawnmower. So I'm like, dude, I was putting on muscle, not even knowing, like pushing that going uphill was tough. And then I get
Dude,
back out here and I'm like, dang, I don't added on a little bit of muscle right
look,
here. You know what I'm
look,
saying?
look. His grandma was training him low key.
Man, had me right, man. But it's just one of those things to continue to grow in all aspects. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're not fast on the track, go to track practice. Even if you're not a strong weight room guy, go to powerlifting practice. Do something that's gonna keep feeding into you. So when football season comes back around, you're still in shape. You don't want to be out of shape and the spring ball comes and you're spending the entire spring trying to get back to where you were. And then now the same cycle repeats in the summer because every school summer workouts are not mandatory. So now it's like, okay, all summer you sat around. Now it's football season. You got shin splints because you ain't ran all summer, and you gotta get back in gear to get ready for the first game. When instead we should be hitting that first practice like boom. We've been hitting it hard all summer,
That's
all
it.
spring. Now we here. Now it's time to go get that state championship, to go get those offers that y'all want so much. And all that's built in the off season.
That's it. That's the big difference, man. So look, Coach Flight, I changed the Twitter handle down at the bottom to represent, you in your business. So follow
Yes,
you,
sir.
Flight Skills with a Z, right? It's on the
Yes,
screen.
sir.
This man drops knowledge. He's with my guy, Coach O, who drops double the knowledge, right? So look, if you're in the
Yes,
Texas
sir.
area, these are the dudes that you want to link up with because they know their stuff and they do it for the right reasons, man. So, Coach Flight, I'm gonna let you get back to work. Shout out to your boss for letting you take a moment. I appreciate
Appreciate
you
you
jumping
guys,
on.
man.
Enjoy Plano. Let's get some of these kids to go viral, man.
Got you. That's what we do. When you think Texas Flex, you think viral. We got the celebrations, brand new icy uniforms coming. Looking forward to seeing y'all all out there.
I love it, man.
Yes,
Look,
sir.
I
Yes,
appreciate you.
sir.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
guys.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right, so
sir.
look, there is the graphic one more time. The Texas Showdown. My man, Coach Flight, he called it. He said you might score once, at best, each game. He's giving you one. He's giving you one score. Will you show up and show out? We'll see. Texas Showdown, January 22nd and 23rd, Plano, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Doing real big things, man. So look, there's that. But again, I got to shout out the sponsors. It wouldn't be right if we don't. So let me pull that graphic up as well. And who's the sponsor, Steve? I'm going to let you do this one.
Man, we got those people keeping your heads together at Zenith giving us that loop. We love that support from Zenith. We also got the yoke people putting the good stuff on the inside of us while we protect our heads with the Zenith loop. And then we have Grip Boost, making sure your hands are elevated. The practice that you've done doesn't go to waste because when you strap up those Grip Boosts, knowing it's going to be 23, 24, 25 degrees out there, that you brought those Grip Boost over your hands so that you can try to keep your hands warm and make those brilliant catches and go viral with our amazing media team, Spotlight39, AR Shots, Grip Boost, Be Marvelous, Brittany Marvin coming down. We have an amazing media team that's going to be out just giving you all the feels. So this is the time for you to get right and get your hands right and get your safety right. You got the 2MG evaluations with RL Martin and Mike Morris. Those two are going to come out and give you nothing but love. You also have amazing reporters coming out, scouts coming out, all thanks to Jacob Maxwell and to Gary Minson for putting this program together so that we have the opportunity to make it do what it do. So from my end to your end, I want you to show up. If you're watching this in the broadcast and you haven't followed us on all of our social media platforms, you need to get to work doing it. My man here with the Spotlight 39 and the 501c3 doing it big with the nonprofit 39 Hearts. Let me give him the love, because ultimately without him, there would be no us.
I appreciate that, man. So look, with that being said, it was one heck of a show. We had some fantastic guests. We recapped Florida. We talked Texas. We gave you a snapshot and said, Arizona, you're on the clock. We coming for you, Arizona. Arizona, get ready. Where's it going to be? Tucson, Arizona. Tucson.
Yes,
So doing real big things,
Beautiful
man.
out there.
So look forward to Media Night Friday night. Spotlight 39 will be hosting that as well. So make sure you get in front of that camera, get ready, get your eyebrows right, get your hair right. Show up, show out, man. That's what we're looking forward to in Plano, Texas, man. So until next week, we'll be back next Wednesday, 7 o'clock. That's what we do, man. True Exposure Live. True Exposure Live on Spotlight 39. I'm going to close this thing out with 39 Hearts. Like he said, the nonprofit. The reason why I do everything that I do is for you. I appreciate it.